Hey, good morning, family. Hope you have an amazing day or having an amazing day. It always is for me. I figure if I wake up breathing, I can handle it all after that. And I've been proven 100% correctly so far. But I wanted to talk about an idea today, about the idea of heaven, okay? And really the Kemetic idea as opposed to the Christian idea of heaven. And what made me think about this was, I made a post and somebody was saying that they agree with me on a certain idea, that Earth is basically like a school, it's really a training ground. And that's kind of how I see Earth. I use that as the analogy for us as souls on Earth. It's a training ground for us developing our skills and our talents as gods and goddesses in training. Okay. Uh, but the person immediately says after that, don't forget, as if, saying to me, hey, man, you got to remember, this is a really evil world, evil and wicked world. And I was like, man, um, when we, as Christians, we were trained to think in these terms of life is wicked, the world is wicked, there's bad people all around us, just uh, you're either for me or against me, you're either my enemy or my friend, there's no in-betweens, and this really goes to the idea of it's about vibration, and what vibration are you existing in every day, and when I say vibration, for humans, our emotions are a translation of vibration, or another way to say that, emotions equal vibration. Emotions are energy in motion. Okay. And when we're talking about the idea of heaven, this really becomes paramount to understand, because we've been taught as Christians, and I know our slave ancestors were taught that heaven is a place, it's somewhere you go to after you die as a reward, and that those ideas were built into our culture, into Black culture, as an idea of really keeping us content with where we are until we died, and that definitely was the case for the slaves. And the other arm of that was fear, that if you didn't do things a certain way, then the alternative was going to be hell. So you lived in fear and anxiety all the time, and you continually thought of or dealt with and looked at the world in a way where there were fearful things that were brought into your consciousness and into your belief system and into your everyday perspective. Okay, that's the way I can say it. And this definitely goes to a new age idea. I guess I could term it that. But it is definitely a Kemetic perspective of the idea of dimensions. So all of these things are linked. So dimensions, heaven, and fears and vibration. These are all linked together within the Kemetic system. And there's you get, once you really understand the Kemetic system, a lot of conflicts will just kind of go away, that you live with as a Christian. But the idea that uh, that heaven is a place and this is a wicked place is really more about the perspective that you're being taught, because your perspective is tied to how you think and your beliefs. And your beliefs are going to be what generate your emotion or your vibration, okay? So beliefs and thoughts generate your emotions, and they generate your vibration, which is really essentially the essence of your being. And this is why it is so important to understand that there is a difference between thinking positive and being positive, okay? Being positive is just how you are. It's the way that you operate life. It's your perspective that you choose to operate from. And I want to emphasize that it is a choice. It is not something that just happens. And I get so many people that feel that when they come to my class, they feel so empowered and relieved to recognize that their idea of being and the way that they are and the way that they think is something that they can choose and they have power over. Because so many people believe that that they're the way that they are, they have no power over it at all, and they feel helpless, they feel victimized by it. So it is really important to understand that you are powerful and you can choose to cultivate your vibration. And this vibration is what's going to get you into heaven. And if you look at the King James Version of the Bible, it tells you that heaven is not a place. So if you look up Luke chapter 17, verse 20 and 21, and the scriptures, and I'm just kind of paraphrasing it here, but when the Pharisees asked Jesus, when will heaven come, or when will this kingdom come? And Jesus says, hey, you cannot point to it. You cannot say, there it is. The kingdom of heaven is within, okay? In other words, you can't go to it, point to it, say it's a place. It's something that is within you. And this means that heaven is a state of mind, you know? It's a state of mind that you achieve, and it's a high vibrational state. It's a state where you're happy, where you're feeling joyful, ecstasy. All of these things are when you are in heaven, okay? But it's your perspective. And if I can say that one of the New Age ideas is we talk about dimensions. Dimensions and perspective are the same thing, okay? There are ways of how we shift who we are from within. And we literally move through dimensions based on how we feel and what we're thinking and being at the time. So this idea that that you have to die to experience heaven, it is so impractical, okay? The Kemetic idea makes heaven this inner space within you that you can create every day on earth, okay? You don't have to live with this idea that the world is wicked. You can choose that. You can choose to see the world as a wicked and evil place, but you will always be stuck in what I call a third dimensional experience, which is going to be lack, fear, all these negative emotions are contained in the third dimensional experience. But you can rise above that. But it has to be a choice that you make. You literally have to rewire your mind. And that's the reason why I created the African Mind Rewire. Because you literally have to create or rewire the way that we've been taught to think and indoctrinated through Christianity. Because so much of it is done through fear, okay? Fear, alienating, us against them. All of this stuff is so counterproductive to living a joyful life, you know? So if what I want you to take away from this is that heaven is not some place that you go to when you die. It's a place that you create within you as you're living, okay? What is it that can put you in a good mood? What can you do that just brings joy to your life, okay, every day? And you can choose that. You can keep choosing that till you start to be that, all right? If your idea of the world is negative, then you cannot reach heaven. Because even one of the other scriptures, Jesus says you have to be like a little child in order to reach the kingdom of heaven. And begin esoterically, the child means being in a state of joy, because we know children, if you just look at children, they naturally they play, they're happy, they're, when they're in a safe place, they just play and are happy. That's just the way that they are, and they're naturally in heaven. Okay, so choose to be positive. Choose to get into heaven, or to be heavenly. That's the takeaway here. Okay, so it's not something that just happens by accident. It's something that you live. And with the Kemetic way, this is tied to prayer, because the Kemetic paradigm of prayer is different. A lot of people ask, well, when I leave Christianity, now I've left Christianity, now who I pray to. You can go to www.whodoipraytonow.com, and I created a little video training for you to learn the Kemetic paradigm. So you'll see all of these ideas, they're connected, which will bring you clarity in your life. It'll bring you clarity on how to operate life. Okay, that is so important. And the ideas are simple. Okay, they're not conflicting and contrasting like we have to live with Christianity. You're supposed to die to get into heaven, and then you're so afraid to live, and you're scared to die. So that's what living in conflict is like, living in this everyday conflict. And a lot of Christian people, so many people believe these ideas that they just think is normal, when it's the most abnormal way to live your life is to live in fear and anxiety. Okay, you don't have to be that way. These ideas that became Christian, they came from the Kemetic teachings, but they were changed. Okay, they came from the ancient African teachings, but they were changed. And they were changed because, again, people didn't understand these ideas, or they had an agenda in some kind of way. All right, so heaven is within you. Fear is a choice. Fear to look at life, to look at life fearfully, is a choice. It's something that you've chosen. But in a sense, I would say it's not all your fault, because we were given a program in Christianity to look at things a certain way. And then our TVs, the news, all that stuff, all it does is just basically puts us in those same states, makes us afraid of everything. So I'm going to end it there, because I could go on and on with that. But this is Reginald Kuakaru, and Kemetic Centered Living. You learn to live life boldly, authentically, unapologetically, and on your terms, without guilt or shame. Other people talk about spirituality. I teach you how to spirituality. All right? Guys, y'all have an amazing day, and I will talk to you another time. Bye-bye.